Welcome to UWS Weekly, a show that is dedicated to covering United Women's Soccer, a national pro-am league with your host, Jonathan Ward. Each and every week, we will highlight players, supporters, and staff of the clubs we all pride ourselves to support in North America. The UWS is a league that is committed to advancing women's soccer. Good evening, soccer fans, and welcome to the last episode of 2020 for UWS Weekly, a show dedicated to covering all things UWS and UWS2. My name is Jonathan, and I'm your host for UWS Weekly. Tonight, I have the privilege to be joined by the owner of Unity FC, Mark Ford, and captain Harlie Ford, who has just recently thrown her name into the upcoming NWSL draft. First and foremost, before we get started, recently we had with UWS, we had a trick shot challenge, which the Unity took second in. And I'd like to take a second to share a video from that challenge. Give me 1 second. First off, congratulations on second. I know you guys had quite the competition. Who took first?
Lancaster Inferno, I believe, took first place.
Oh man,
they had some amazing over the house into the basketball shots. So it was a great competition. It was fun. It kept us busy.
Next year, Joe and I come down. We'll participate. It'll be good. We'll win.
Yeah, it's a team sport. You know, we like to involve everybody for it. So
perfect. So. Mark and Harlie, thank you so much for joining me this evening. Before we get started with questions, why don't you give us an introduction of yourselves, how you got involved in soccer, and your roles in the club as well as the community?
I'll go first. I'm Mark Ford. I'm one of the co-owners of UWS Soccer, along with my wife, Christine, and my father, William, who's in Western New York still. As far as how I got involved with soccer, it's similar to Danny Woodfield's story with FC Austin Elite. Have 3 daughters, playing soccer and through the club system, high school, and got involved with it that way. So about like the last 10 years as far as being an active participant through, supporting, coaching, involved in high school club. So basically through family. Go ahead, Har.
I'm Harlie. I was involved with soccer. I played a little bit as a small child, but then when we moved down to Florida from New York, that was really when we stepped into it because we sort of lost a lot of our support. And so by moving down to Florida, we decided that support could be found through the game of soccer. So we went out to this little dirt patch at a YMCA, and that's sort of where it all started for me. And as we went forward, I decided to go into high school soccer, started out as JV. Team got canned a couple years in a row, so I ended up being a team manager for the varsity team. And then from there, they saw my work ethic and they saw that I was improving, and they allowed me to be a part of the actual roster. And by my junior year in high school, I was the team captain. And then my senior year, I was a senior captain, and it just kept going up from there. There was a bit of a lull in between my graduation from high school and going into college. I didn't have any recruiting opportunities, so I did what I could to play soccer wherever I could, which is the best thing that I could have done. So I started playing club soccer at Stetson University while I was getting my English degree, and I then was recruited to play soccer for Weber International at the end of my career at Stetson, and that's when I was like, oh my gosh, that's my dream. Yes, of course, I'm going. And that's sort of what happened to me.
Fair enough. So, Mark and Harlie, the birth of Unity has a unique story, similar to Danny down in Austin. But can you kind of explain the origins of Unity FC and how it's gotten to where it is now?
Oh, that's a great question. The origins of UDFC, we were in United Women's Soccer Provisional in 2018. And that's how the team itself came about. We were able to get involved with the team that was having some troubles to finish the season, and we were able to help them continue onward in that provisional version of UWS in Florida. We had a great time. And then after that year ended in 2018, we weren't really sure what we were going to do. And our daughters were still playing club soccer, and we'd be out to the club, to the games, and I'd like to use what I say, my eyeballs, and there'd be players that was like jumping off the page, so to speak. And we talked to them after the game and asked them about, would you like to continue playing soccer post club, or did you give it some thought to playing in college? And no, we never have, or they didn't have any opportunities. So they really, the club system is really, benefits a few people on a team. It doesn't really benefit everybody. And then we'd also come with the girls of the UWS team. We saw that there was a great need in the community. Kids couldn't afford to play high-level soccer, high-level elite club soccer. It can be $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a year to play. And we were like, we could take the money that we're spending, and we're going to spend it anyways. Why don't we make a whole team? And we can be anything that we want to be, because the landscape at that point was pretty much empty as far as high-level competitive soccer teams in Florida. And we can have a whole team of girls and give a whole team of girls the opportunity to play that otherwise would not have the opportunity to play financially. So we that's how Unity was born, was sort of anti-pay to play, fighting against the establishment, so to speak, and giving players that have been bypassed, too slow, too small, not good enough, bypassed because of economics, bypassed because they just, they didn't have the opportunity to play, and they want to continue playing, because our girls were like 10 and 12 when they started playing, that's late. They're a late bloomer in soccer, any sport really. But when you're 12 years old like Harlie and you start playing soccer, there's really a limited time you can play. But also when you're coming out of the rec leagues and the Y leagues, unfortunately there's that connotation that you play at the Y, and we were just trying to fight against that, and so that's how we formed the team, and that was the origin story. Was we wanted to be, inclusive, not exclusive.
About unity.
Yeah.
There you go. Perfect. Well, Mark or Harlie, what is the vision and the mission of this beautiful club?
Go.
I'll take this one. So, the path of getting to this team, the path of making it what it is today, was long and arduous. There was a lot that happened in between the inception into where we are now, where, we get to be here and, talk to you today. What happened with the club is that we wanted to make sure that it doesn't, graduating from high school, graduating from college, or like not having your dreams fulfilled, that doesn't have to be the end for you. There is soccer everywhere, and there is soccer here. And we don't want to, as my dad said, there are players out there who are incredible athletes. I have played with some of the most wonderful people and the most wonderful athletes who have really done incredible things with their soccer careers, but because of circumstances involving money or involving life, family, other difficulties, they just weren't able to keep up playing the sport that they loved. And we wanted to bring that back to them, and by making sure that they don't have to dump $1,000 into trying to play, making practices flexible, giving them opportunities to come when they can, even if they have work situations that are extenuating. And it's just, we want to be there for everybody at every time. And as we've grown, it was originally about developing our players here, but now we've expanded to look at players beyond Florida, beyond our own capacity. Like, we want to make sure that we're supporting other clubs throughout this expansion, because the league is stronger as a whole, right? If one team is a powerhouse, but the other teams are struggling to field 11 players, is that really a league, right? It's just one team at that point. So that's it.
Just to follow up on her real quick. Off the field, we'll do anything we can to help anybody in any league that we're playing, even if it's in a rival league. We do have quite a pool of players, and we know people all across the country and in Florida. So we'll send players that way. As Harlie said, it does no good to be completely dominant. You need top to bottom. You have to, the community as a whole needs to be strong.
So Mark, you kind of touched on it before we got started. how did the idea of starting a club come about? Now, I've spoken with Chris from another opportunity, and she mentioned it. I'm just wondering if you guys are on the same page with how the club came about.
I think we're 100% on the same page. It's a unique relationship to have so much family involvement, and there aren't any issues. We all have our defined roles. She's a director of soccer and coaching, so what she says goes. We all have our own areas, but we, I guess what Unity. Me and Harlie call it the Trail of Tears. We went on after her senior year of high school. We went to all these tryouts. We didn't know any better. Just know, I used my eyeballs. She's a good soccer player, and we go to these tryouts, and when you get to higher level, elite level, the other leagues that are tier 2 or whatever, I'm not going to name them. The teams are preordained for the most part. 99% of them are coming from the college that they know or the people they know. So it's really not a fair and open trial. So we wanted to give everybody an opportunity to play and not turn them away or give them false hope. Or I was telling Harlie before the show, I could never be the guy running a team that walked through the parking lot after a tryout and saw a kid crying in the parking lot with their mom or dad, or up against the fence with their mom or dad or their grandma or whoever brought them. And because we just crushed their dreams, I've been that kid, I've been that dad, we've been there. So we are open for everybody. We cannot guarantee that, depending on the format of what we're playing in, 18 or 20 women roster, depending on a tournament or league play. But anybody that wants to play at UWS, our doors are open. You can come on out. We have open practices. We're not going to turn you away. If you want to keep playing, you want to be a part of the team, you want to be a part of the family, we're there for you. We can help you build your soccer. If you're a really great player, we can help you there because we have some really talented coaches. Coach Chris, Coach Juan, you're on, and we'll help make you better. But it's the whole thing, the whole family, the whole one team concept. And like Harlie said, we have some rock star players, and we've been fortunate that these players that nobody else knew or wanted because they didn't have the money. So we had 3 players that are over 6 foot tall that are unbelievable. And but those girls, they're as welcoming to anybody. And it's that one team, that one family, and there's never any drama. So if you want to come out and be with Unity and you want to be a part of what we're doing, we're more than happy to have you, regardless of the talent or where you're from or who you are. Like I said, we are all one team, and we're there for anybody that wants to be part of the team.
Oh, Yaya's chiming in.
You see Yaya scored the first goal in UWS League 2 history up in West Virginia. It's one of our girls. So with all the options, especially down in Florida for leagues or participation in activities of a club, what drew you to join the UWS2? Simply put, what drew me to UWS2, Danny Woodville, FC Austin Elite. I was having lunch with my oldest daughter, Shasta, who's involved with sports on the other side on the camera. She does some great things in film and television. But anyways, we're having lunch in Lakeland, Florida, and we had just come out of an experience with Women's League. I'm not going to name, and it didn't work out. It was not good. And I was having dinner or having lunch with my daughter in Lakeland, Florida, and I go, Shasta, I don't know if we can keep doing this. I love this team more than like anything other than my family. This isn't working. We've been beating our head against the wall. And I'm about to take a bite of my sandwich, and I see this Danny Woodville, Texas. And it was just like ironic, or it was karma, or it was fate that, like, at my lowest moment in soccer, this guy I didn't even know reached out. And then not only did he reach out, he listened to me. This was the day after this whole thing blew up. It was just not good. The guy, he listens to me rant for like an hour, and he was like, it's okay. We see what you're doing from afar. We've seen you on social media. And I was just blown away that this guy that I didn't know seemed to have, like, honestly care about us. Here we are in Florida, they're in Texas, and this guy was, and I was just blown away. He said, hang in there. Don't give up. Do not give up. We see what you're doing. We believe in what you're doing. We're going to find something. If we have to make something for you. And we had the previous experience with the UWS Provisional, and we gotten to know Joe Ferraro really well. And fantastic people. And they follow our mindset of, people first, soccer second. It really is an amazing organization. No bigger testament to what they did with COVID. 100% of our fees for this year. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I think it speaks volumes about how the league is running as well. I mean, Joe came to our house. He came here. He sat in our living room and, was just face to face with us and went over everything that, what the expectations and, ensuring that we were going to have a great experience despite our past experiences with other leagues.
Can't say enough.
Like that is just, how can you not be excited about getting involved with the program where the actual, the head, the top of it, right, comes down, comes to talk to you and lets you know that you are a part of it and you are going to be important and you are not going to be let down or left to flounder. Nice.
Well, Harlie, a personal question to you. You've played now for some years. How has playing in the UWS 2 helped you prepare for, Weber International, and the potential playing in the NWSL?
Well, it is definitely something that gave me a better perspective on the expectations of playing at a higher level. So I was able to interact with players who had previously played at the college level. I hadn't. I was only at a club soccer team, and a lot of us had never played before, and it was just like we're just trying to be out there having a good time. By getting on the field with a competitive team that has players who have played at every level of soccer, I've played against someone who played for the World Cup in Colombia. That's something that you can't find anywhere else. That is an opportunity that gave me everything I needed to understand what I needed to do to improve. If you're facing off someone who's been at the World Cup, right? What are you supposed to do? You have to get better.
Keep playing, right? Keep playing.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's the biggest thing. It gives you an opportunity to keep playing, and that's the best thing that you can do. You can practice as much as you want. You can be by yourself as much as you want, doing juggles and drills all by yourself. But being on a field with 11 other players, technically there's 22 of you on the field, that changes everything for you.
So Mark, I got to ask, how are you staying engaged and active as a club during this time? I mean, you've been on social media. You're pretty much the social media guru in the Unity world. How are you able to stay engaged and active with not just your community, but also your athletes?
First of all, thank you for the compliment. As far as social media guru, I do enjoy the aspect of talking with everybody across the world. With keeping the team engaged, it is a struggle because of the pandemic. Before that, we're very close in the team. We're very close in the group. The players have they have chat groups. They honestly, it's almost through like a peer. You try to keep the team keeps itself together, always communicating and talking and doing things outside of soccer. It's amazing the relationship that they all have. It really is a sisterhood. Steven Ramirez, he's a Protagonist Soccer. He was with us from day one. As far as he was like our first fan. He wrote a tremendous. Look it up on Protagonist. It's called Sisters, about unity, and that really defines who we are and how we operate better than anything I could probably say. It was amazing. It chokes me up when I read it because it's beautiful. But through the pandemic, we've been having open practices recently. We've been getting back out on the field and trying to stay together that way. We're always in contact, always in communication. Like we said, we're people first, soccer second. I mean, Coach Chris is reaching out to him like every week, every other day sometimes about just different things. And, we do have some things we're trying to play in a couple of tournaments before our league play kicks off. So our plan from now until, whenever things break loose is to stay active with soccer however we can, whether it's just with us in the area, because most of the players are Local. The majority of the players are right here still. And we say once unity, always unity. And we still have 7 players that were with us in 2018, and we call them the original 7. And it used to be the original 9, but a couple players have decided that they're done playing soccer. So that group of 7, they're really helpful as well too, because they've been with us since day one, and they kind of keep the fire burning, so to speak.
You guys have an interesting pyramid, you could call it, with being in the high school ranks and being with the kids from not just in your own community and the players and athletes in your own community, but outside of your own community as well. People traveling from 3 or 4 hours away just to participate with Unity FC. I have to ask, what is the development pyramid or structure of Unity FC?
Well, our development structure is pretty grassroots. It is a pyramid, but we will, where there's have ball, we'll travel. Wherever there's something going on, if we can go watch it, we'll go watch it. Any U16 games somewhere, YMCA, rec. Heck, we pulled over in a park. We see some kids kicking the ball around. Harlie's like, hey, come on over, and that's that's what we do. We kind of want to find the players at that level. No offense, but we don't want the 5-star prospect from the University of North Carolina. We just don't. It's not our thing. It's not what we're trying to do. So our first thing is we put our eyes at the ground level, and Harlie does a lot at the ground level. Honestly, Harlie and Dane, my other daughter that plays with Unity, they do a lot of work at that grassroots, because they get out and they play and they're in the community.
Like one of our players, our star keeper, Kristen Gergen, she came from an indoor soccer place, and I had been playing against her. I was playing Wednesday nights at like 6 to 9 p.m. and we were playing against her, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is like, she's amazing. She's just like flying through the air, and it's indoor soccer. It's like built like a hockey rink. Balls are flying off the walls, and she's saving every single one. And I come up to her and I ask her, I'm like, hey, we've got this 11v11 team. I don't know if you're interested in playing on full field, if you want to get out of the hockey rink and get back out there. And I gave her we had a tryout sheet at that time, so I let her have it, and I didn't expect her to come back. It's sort of tough to get that return sometimes when you have a random person come up to you and say, hey, come out to this field, let's see what you can do. But she showed up, and she's been with us ever since, and she is such an ingrained part of the team. And that's just one story. We see talent and we go after that talent, but we also see people, and we know what they can bring to us, and we know what their character is, and that's the most important thing to us. If we don't have character, if we don't have characteristics that we want to attain, right, the whole thing falls apart. Everyone is held to the same level. Everyone's held to the same standard. We all have to be there for each other. We all have to work hard for each other, and it doesn't matter if you're an A player but you have a C attitude, right? We'll take the C player with the A attitude every day.
Right.
Awesome. I like to hear that. Well, Harlie, I have to ask, you and your mom and dad do a lot for the community, as well as your sisters. What makes community outreach so important to the club and to you personally?
It's sort of surreal thinking about what community means to our club, because I don't think that I'm something that's crazy big. That's like, I'm just one person. I'm just one player, right? Our whole team is important. But if I have, like, my dad brought me over a picture that I had to sign. I was like, I'm sending out an autograph. We're sending this out to a kid named Grayson, right?
Oh yeah, Grayson in Indiana. Grayson
right.
Footy.
I was like, what? This is crazy, right? Someone out in Indiana has my picture now. We had a little girl who would always come to our games, and we made sure we got her a jersey, and we signed a ball for her, an actual game ball, and we gave that to her. And like, her name's Amber, and she's like, live or die Unity. And because of our team, she decided that she wanted to play soccer, and now she's a rock star in her own right. She's really good.
Yeah, future Unity,
so it's just, and we participated in a parade when we were back in Volusia County, and it was sort of bold, but Dad took the soccer balls that we had and he started giving them out like you would like candy. He would start giving soccer balls to these kids on the street.
Oh man.
But we were like, oh, whoa, you're giving out the soccer balls. He said,
what are you doing?
But
we
it's
need
like,
those. I'm like, I had the kids need balls. They didn't play soccer.
But it's like, that little kid just got that ball, and you know what they're going to do with it? They're going to go out in their backyard, and they're going to start playing with it, right? They're going to start doing what they can with their family, because, that's what's most important, like being with each other and like having that support system. And, that's what we try to do every time.
And if I could just follow up on that real quick, like with the community, and we look outside our little border of, we did the thing where we were in Polk County and we filled it in with the rainbow. And then we took over Osceola on social media, but we look beyond that. So, I mean, our community is everywhere. And that's what's exciting is we have incredible fan support in Western New York. And we actually have players on our team from Western New York that we've come to know. And it's the same thing, bypassed, overlooked. Come on down, and so we have great in New York, California, in South Carolina, Florida, in England, in the UK, in Africa. We have a player playing professional in Iceland, Megan Warner, who, amazing. Like Harlie said, are you kidding me? I mean, 3 years ago, we were on the Trail of Tears, standing by the fence going like this. Oh, my God, this is the worst thing ever. And now everybody's playing soccer. Everybody's a part, Unity. We got a player playing in Iceland professional. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, community, it's global. It's everywhere. You just can't be like this, You got to see the whole thing.
I vaguely remember putting that map out for people to add their clubs for hashtag Lopsided, and you just decided to take it all over. Way to go.
Well, yeah, I did. I was painted the rainbow across the whole country.
There we go. Nothing wrong with that.
It was a peaceful coup. It was not hostile.
Nobody got mad. Nobody else wanted to fill it in.
Right.
You took advantage of it. Perfectly fine.
Well, anything you ask, we're there.
So over the past few months, we've kind of seen soccer come and go, and we've seen some hardships. What have you learned over the past few months about your club and operations as a result of what we've been dealing with?
My Harlie got some thoughts on this, so I'll start with that one. We're resilient. We're not going to quit. We're not going to give up. It would be easy to just say, we had a nice run, we had some fun, but too many people are looking to us and want to be a part of it, and I don't want to let anybody down. So, I mean, that's the worst thing I said. I don't want to be that guy that makes somebody's kid crying in the parking lot. I don't want to let anybody down. I don't want to let one of my players down. I don't want to let Alexa Torres down. I don't want to let Dane Ford down. I don't want to let Miriam Espinosa, the original 7. So we have to continue because those girls are family. The 23 to 25 girls that are on Unity roster right now, they need us, So I learned that we're resilient, and I'm more determined than ever to see this through. Harlie, any thoughts on?
I don't think I could have said that better.
Okay.
So Harlie, I do have a question from Jake, who is a huge Houston Dash fan. And Jake asks, have younger players ever said they look up to you or said that you're their favorite player?
Oh boy. Well, thank you, Jake. I appreciate the question. So the girl that I talked about, Amber, that was the most surreal moment I had. She came out and she was, she ran across the field to come say hi to me. And I was like, hello, it's so good to meet you. Thank you for coming out to our games. And that lit up my whole world, because that made me understand what impact we have beyond like the game, right? So we're out there, it's just a soccer ball, right? We're just kicking it around. Like eventually it ends up in the back of the net. That's only one small piece of what we do. When you have a little girl running across the field because she just saw like you make this diving tackle and it's the greatest thing she's ever seen. Well, she's got a lot more soccer to watch, but right then that was everything that meant the world to her. And I just, that was so special. That was really, really cool. And the fact that she's still playing now, it just, what more could you want out of this? If I never do anything else with my soccer career, but knowing that like I got one more kid out there to play the game that I love, right? Like, I think I've done a good job.
I think you have too, which is awesome. I think that's great.
Thank you.
Mark, you guys have tryouts coming up soon. How can people get involved?
Back to the trial question. So we don't have trials per se. Like I said, we are not going to exclude anybody, and being that we cover 100% of the costs associated with soccer. No girl to date that's played with Unity, and other than their player passes, which I think are $20 or $25, and allows them to play in all kinds of different things with U.S. soccer that may or may not be part of Unity. Other than the player passes, we cover everything. So you come out and try out for Unity. The odds are you're going to get all the Squincher you can drink, because that's our sponsor, and we love it. And we love Squincher. You're going to get the greatest hydration product you ever could want. You're going to have a good time. We're probably going to give you a T-shirt, and you're going to get to come out. And for us, tryouts, I mean, it's a pressure situation. You may not play in your best element. You might be stressed out. So if you come out as a player and you know that, hey, I could be a part of this organization regardless of how I perform today. I mean, trust me, John, I'm not going to, I mean, we've seen some pretty, some not really the best soccer, but so what? If they want to be a part of the team, then you can be a part of the team, and you can work on your game, and you can work on your, and you can do, you can be part of the team. Like I said, we can't guarantee that you're going to make the 18 or the 20 woman roster for the things that we do, because it is pretty much, we run the team as a professional team. Say we cover the freight and all that. But we want everybody to be a part of the team. So we have open practices. You can follow us on our social media or on our website, and, find it through there. We have one more January 9th in Ponciana at Ponciana Community Park. So anybody in Florida or wherever, come on down and run around and have fun with Unity. You'll be surprised. This one and her sister and all the other girls on Unity, they're all sisters. It's all one team, one family. You'll be welcome, and you'll be part of the gang, and it's a good thing.
Yeah, and just to add on to that, I went to so many tryouts that were just one day, and they toss you out there with 50 other girls, and you get a number, and maybe they're looking at you, but probably not. It's really difficult to try and stand out in a single day of soccer. Not even a single day. It's usually an hour or two, right? How are you supposed to play to the best of your ability with people you don't know in front of people who do not know anything about you, right? How are you supposed to put your best foot forward? Right. So we, instead of a try out, right? It's a try in, right? You're already in, right? You're there. You showed up. We are so happy that you did that. Now you have to make sure that you're in with us, right? We have our standards. We have our expectations. If you want to be a part of us, great. Here's what you have to do, and live up to that, and we're going to be just fine. So I think that's one of the things.
Right, absolutely. We have had some players that have struggled the initial, the open practice. They come back and they're a little better. We've had one player that was, I think we had like 25 players at the time. It was probably number 25. Found her way into the 18, never left. You got a college scholarship. So, I mean, that's what it's about. So, you know what? If we would have told that girl, you're not really what we're looking for, not only would we have been limiting ourselves and not had the joy of her being a part of the team, which she still continues to be today, Caitlin Holborn, that we would have denied her that opportunity to have that experience that you had and the opportunity to go to college and all that. So, like Harlie said, it's a try in, not a try out.
So what's next for Unity?
Well, try-ins on January 9th, and then we're going to play a friendly on the 10th against the Orlando Royals in Ponciana Community Park, kick it around. There's a couple tournaments we're looking at. We got to make sure that they're, going to happen. We have to be safe with COVID. We have to do things the right way. Keep the girls safe, keep their families safe. But I think that things are going to go in the right direction. Obviously, we have UWS League 2 going to be kicking off here. We hope in late May, early June. Things are looking really good as far as the league goes. We played the one game last year, and it was great. Wow. It was phenomenal. And then got shut down, but it was the right thing to do. So yeah, we're doing our open practices or try-ins, and we're going to play some friendlies. and get ready for UWS to hopefully play a couple of tournaments and just kind of go back to our roots a little bit. That's how we started out, kind of barnstorming our way across the Southeast. Our motto was play anywhere, any place, anytime. So anybody that'll have us, anybody looking for a game, we love to come out and spread the word of unity and what we're doing and what we're about. And, we'll bring you some squincher and we'll have a good time.
All right. Well, let's get into the hot seat real quick with some rapid fire. I would say it's brought to you by Squincher, everything you need in your thirsts, but we'll get there. So this is rapid fire. You will get a few questions for both of you. And we wish you guys the best. Hopefully you don't pass. If you do pass, you can only pass on one and you can't answer the next question or you won't know until you get asked. So Harlie, first question's to you.
Okay.
Most embarrassing soccer moment.
Probably it was the first time that I vomited on the field and I decided to put my hands in front of my face instead of letting it happen, and it was just rocket everywhere. It was horrible. Definitely that one. I can't live that one down. It was tacos, by the way.
Thanks, Dad.
Yeah, way to go, Dad. Great pregame meal there. Well, that will answer one of the questions. Mark, what about you? Most embarrassing sideline moment?
I have a lot of them because I broadcast the games on our feed, so I can get pretty crazy. I can say some bizarre things, which I apologize for, but it's my team and I love it. So I guess the thing I would say, I'm always very reserved if I'm on the sideline. I'll sit down on the 18-yard line as far away from everybody as I can. I don't want anybody to know me, know who I am, know what's going on. But I can get a little wild. And real quick, after we won Mayor's Cup, the Orlando City Championship in 2018, I did get a little crazy with the squincher. And it was raining squincher in downtown Orlando, and there were hats flying. And the kids tell me that the kids were getting hit in the head, and it was madness. But I lost my mind. So I guess it was fun, but I kind of had a blackout there. I don't know. So I guess that'd be kind of embarrassing too because I was just so excited,
Fair enough. Harlie, well, that kind of answers the next question. Who's the more embarrassing parent?
Oh yeah.
Favorite squincher flavor. Favorite squincher flavor. I'm gonna say fruit punch.
I'm a cool citrus fan, but mixed berry's also up there.
Mixed berry.
Mixed berry. Okay. Harlie, who is your soccer twin? So if there was a player in the world that you have a game that you kind of built after, who is your soccer twin?
I believe her name is Julie Ertz, right? Or is it? Yeah. Now it's Johnson, right? Or is it Ertz now? Yeah, it's Ertz now. That is the one. My mom always says that I play a lot like her, and I think that's a pretty high compliment. So.
Well, Mark, we know you're a huge Bills Mafia guy.
Oh yes.
So what interested you in soccer? Was it Scott Norwood?
Wide right, baby. Yeah, we forgive them. Mistakes happen. It's unity. Yeah, you got me. You stumped me. I'm speechless. But what got me into soccer? Oh, man. Whew. How about the Bills last night, though? They sure did look good, didn't they?
They did.
But actually, in the late '80s, early '90s, Coach Chris was playing in high school, and I used to go watch her play. And I loved it. I loved the women's game, even at that point. Valerie loves orange. And then it just carried through from there. And then once Unity started, honestly, Unity is my favorite team. I just, on the level that we play at, that UWS at tier 2, or, maybe we're tier 3 or like tier 2.5. The technicality of it. I'm not a big fan of the man's game because it seems like they pound the ball down the field and they go chase it, and pound the ball down the field and they go chase it, and then somebody hits them and they roll around on the ground for like they're gonna die, and then they get up, and you don't see that in a women's game. And so I was drawn to the women. I was drawn to women's soccer over men's soccer. I like going to see Kaká with Orlando City. How could you not? Holy cow, the guy's amazing. But as far as a team, I like watching women's soccer because it seemed there's more passion. The girls were tough. They didn't flop around on the ground, and it was more technical. 8, 9, 10 passes, and before they took a shot versus just pounding the ball on the field.
All right, Harlie. Last question on the rapid fire. You guys made it through. Here's the last one though. Harlie, what is more rewarding, a hard-fought draw or a lopsided victory?
Oh, definitely a hard-fought draw. I would even say a hard-fought loss, right? I don't want a victory where we're pounding it in the back of the net and it's 13-1. I did that before. It was my senior night of high school, and I was playing against a team, and only 8 girls came out and for the other team, and it was that, you know what, we talk about the most embarrassing moments. That is one of the saddest moments I've ever had in soccer, because I've been on the other side of that. I've been on the other side of that lopsided victory, and it doesn't make anyone feel good. And so, we got our senior goals in, and I took myself off the field, and that just, that's not what it's about. So definitely a hard-fought draw or a hard-fought loss, better than a lopsided victory any day.
Well, congratulations. You guys made it through the rapid fire. Well done. My last question before we part this evening for each of you to answer. What does community mean to you?
No, I've been hitting on community all night, so I'll try to keep it short. I know you have another guest on. It's everything. Meeting people like yourself, Joe Johnston, Steven Ramirez, Scott Adamson, our generals up in New York, Kirk Lorkowski, Trent Harrison, Carl Creasy. It just means the world. And when we have somebody like Harlie was saying, with a young lady she's her favorite player, signing balls. When we have somebody within the community, whether it's the soccer community, the global community is anything and everywhere. And when somebody says thank you, it makes our day. If I can make somebody feel a little better by sending them out some Squincher, and I can't thank Squincher enough. They allow us to really participate in community. If I need something, they send me a box, and they have no problem with us, sending some liquid joy around, with the Squincher, and we're promoting them, but they're really a believer in community too. So we're really fortunate, and it's helped in my own community, my own little itty bitty family community. My dad, he's like 85, and Unity, he's helped us with it. There's been a couple times, I'd rather shoot my own arm off than ask my dad for anything. I'm just being honest. My dad's done very well, but I make my own way on my own man. But there's been a couple times where, Dad, I don't know what we're going to do. And, what do you need, guy? And it's given him purpose. It's given him sense of purpose. Those are my girls. That's my team. He's up in Buffalo, 85, 86, lives by himself. So my own little community here, the Ford community, through soccer, through Unity, it's helped my dad. It's given him, it's keeping him going, so it's everything. We couldn't do it without him, and we couldn't do it without you. We couldn't do it without UWS. It's a beautiful thing. Good.
Yeah, not to be cliche, but community is unity, right? Can't spell one without the other. But I think my dad really hit on that. It's everywhere. We, going through the times that we've had, without support, I don't know what we would have done, just at a personal level or, professional or athletic level, right? Knowing that you have people out there who are rooting for you, who are in your corner every day. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's a trick shot challenge or your first game with UWS 2, right? People who show up for that empowers you. It makes you want to try harder. It makes you want to work for everything that they want from you. It's just like, I want to give that to whoever's out there, who is ever supporting us. But yeah, that really is, that just means the world to me. And I think one of the most special things that I found with this team, in the community that it has built, is that, we have girls who've come out who have played, like I said, at every level of soccer. We had a girl who was a star from a UCF, she comes out and she says, this is my favorite team I've ever played on. Unity is my most favorite team. She played D1 soccer, and yet she comes out to our team where we're all about family, we're all about people first. And she says that we're her favorite, I think that says a lot about what we try to do as an organization and, what community means to us.
Definitely. Well, Harlie and Mark, thank you so much for taking the time to join me this evening. I can't wait to have this conversation in person and hopefully during a Unity match.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see you out there. We'll get some Squincher for you.
I'll be there.
Center table, and you can call it just whatever you need. We would love to see it. And there's, when we do get back on the field, I know that there's going to be a lot of people from all across the country down here cheering for us. And that's the beautiful thing of it all. As they say, we're not just limited to here. It's everywhere. We can't thank you enough. And thank you, Jake. I saw your kind comments there.
Oh, yeah, Jake.
It really means a lot. We see it and we hear it. And, if you need anything, hey, send us a message on social media or all our Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that stuff. We answer every question. And if there's anything we can do, we're there for you.
Well, thank you too. We'll talk to you guys soon. Enjoy the rest of the evening. And until next time, cheers, guys.
Thank you. Have a great night.
All right. Well, that brings us to the next segment, Beyond the Pitch. This segment is dedicated to highlighting individuals in our UWS communities doing awesome things away from the field. This person could be a supporter, a club staff, or a player who's doing great things for their community. Tonight, we would like to honor actually the head coach of Unity FC, as written by a member of the Unity FC community. There's no better example of giving back to the community than our leader and director of soccer and head coach, Chris Ford. The impact that she makes within the Unity FC organization is fairly evident, but she takes her Unity approach into the surrounding community and expands upon it and has impacted and helped so many while never seeking accolades or credit. Content to the spotlight shine on others, or content, sorry, to let the spotlight shine on others. Chris has always deflected credit, yet absorbed any criticism that may come her way, carrying that burden that others may not. As a member of the nursing community, Chris is an ER facility manager with Advent. She stands on the front line of the COVID-19 battle, along with her regular facility duties. She puts together events such as outreach with local fire stations and first responders, rallying the local community around her, because everyone in the Lake Nona community, whether it be at her facility or the local businesses, is part of her team, the Unity way, one team. In addition to Unity, Chris has coached high school soccer for nearly a decade. Often the teams have had little to no experience playing competitive soccer. She patiently teaches them the game, always supportive and encouraging. If a player lacks the funds to play, does not have shoes or shin guards, mysteriously the funds or equipment appear, and when the player asks how it happened, she says, "Oh, don't worry about that." Most seasons, Coach Chris has donated her high school coaching salary to her assistant coaches and volunteers that may not be a part of her coaching staff to learn more and hone their craft and be a part of the community that she builds and means so much to her. The results on the field are secondary to her main purpose, and that is to build and grow the one team concept. I know that not only the hundreds of players and coaches, but the thousands of people in the Central Florida community that she has helped in her daily life join me in saying thank you, Coach Chris. Well, Chris, I hope you were able to absorb those words that came from your community. I want to say thank you to you. And if you'd like to say something, I'd really like to hear what you have to say.
Let me catch my breath here for a second. Wow. Yeah. I have been the most blessed. I all through my education, you hear about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and at the top you reach self-actualization. I'm pretty close to it, and whether it's my education, my nursing, my community, and totally my soccer, I have gotten there, and I couldn't have done it without this guy and her and my entire Unity team. I'm sorry.
All right.
I love what we do. I love what we've brought to the team. I love what we've brought to a lot of girls, and I love what they've given me. Each person, each patient that I touch, they leave something, it imprints on me. And I've been nursing since 2000. So that's a lot of patients that I've gotten able to touch, but every single one of them has left a piece of them with me as well. So my players are no different. I'm still in contact with a lot of my high school players, which is great. Even though they've gone on, some of them have babies now. So it's pretty great to see how their life has improved, how they've changed, and what we've been able to do to to help them find something that maybe, I always think about walking in their shoes. And when I hear about some of the things that they've had to go through, and sometimes that coming to our field or the field that I get to be part of, it really makes a difference on their life, because sometimes their life isn't so pretty when they're not with us. So it's really great that I have the opportunity to do that. And I'm thrilled to be part of Unity, and I'm really thrilled to be part of UWS. And I heard them talking about having Joe come to our house. Oh my God, what an honor. What an honor. The man has created something stellar, and the fact that we're part of the UWS League is like a dream that I never thought I had until I had it. So it's pretty great stuff. And I am so appreciative to you and this whole community. You guys talk a lot about community. I'm all about community. So I appreciate it, and I thank you, and I love my family, and I love my Unity family, and I love my nursing family, and thank you so much.
No, thank you, Coach. We appreciate it. Mark, Chris, thank you so much for taking the time to join us this evening. Until we get to meet again, we'll see you guys soon.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you. So there are many teams who are looking for players this upcoming season and also holding tryouts. If you're interested, find a local team in your area and see if your UWS or UWS2 team is looking for players, a try-in of sorts. This is a great opportunity to keep playing or even dust off those boots and get back in the game that we all love. Check out UWS online for information at uwssoccer.com/club tryouts. Well, this evening, I am lucky to be joined by the UWS's CFO and co-founder, Francisco Cleaves. Francisco, how you been lately?
Good.
So
Thank you.
last week, I had Roberto on to talk a little bit about the league and refunding its clubs. Tonight, I thought it would be nice to just have you on to chat and how the league is looking going into 2021. But before I start, I have to ask. You, Joe, and Roberto were all at one time coaching and playing against each other. How are you able to remain in contact and stay on the same page to become partners in this league?
Sure. Yeah. I don't want to start any wars on the matches that we've had, but we're lucky to meet both of them, Roberto and Joe's teams on the field over the years, and it actually helped our team get better. We had something to shoot for, and they had their way with us in the first couple of years, and we've been able to even the score. So it's been fun in the field. But just to be more serious on the the business side of running a league, it's a unique challenge. And what we've been able to do is really to look at what strengths we all bring to the table. Joe with his over 20 years in the women's soccer at this level. Roberto has a lot of business experience. He has a pretty large youth club and has also operated teams at this level. And from the start, my contribution has been on the financial side. I did everything from accounting to budgeting to financial reporting, etc., for some pretty large corporations in the U.S., dealing with millions and billions of dollars. And the same principle applies here. So that we can again just kind of we respect each other what we're bringing to the table, and I think that's helped us. It has been a challenge because the seasons are short. So once we get engaged again, we have a lull period. So we had some pretty heart-to-heart meetings, on, okay, what is the future of the league? What do we want? We started with this ideal. How do we keep going? And I think those meetings really help crystallize what our plan should be. And again, I think we have a lot of respect for each other in what we're bringing to the table. And whenever there needs to be a decision that impacts, beyond the financial or club or a strategy, we get on a call and have always been able to reach consensus on what the path is to follow. So that's how it's worked. And I'm pretty happy to be associated with both of them on this project.
So that leads me to the next question. Last week when we had Roberto on, we found out about the league and its ability to help clubs with the 2021 season. How has the UWS and UWS2 navigated 2020 financially to be able to do what it did?
Well, again, I think Roberto brought a couple of points during that, last week. One is that, the three of us as equal partners in this venture have not taken any money out of the league, as far as a salary. There's a stipend, that Joe gets because he does, a lot of traveling and all that. And so we've reinvested everything, that into the teams, either by providing, travel subsidies, and we've actually gone beyond what we have to do. So having said that, when we started this year and it came to realization, pretty early that we thought we could still have a season, but it was going to be modified or maybe not at all. We spent lots of hours on the phone, kind of, we had a plan A, B, C, D, E, F, right? And all that involved first, what can we do for the clubs? How can we help them? And then what do we have to do in the background to make sure that the league was still going to be, feasible and financially sound. So unfortunately, we did have to, we had just hired Stephanie, our executive director. We had hired some other staff, and we unfortunately had to lay them off or put them on lower hours. Everyone understood what we had to do, so we took action. We look at all our costs, and again, I've been doing that for 30 years. So it just came second nature. And obviously Joe and Roberto pitched in, and we just did a scrub and say, hey, these are projects we're gonna put on hold. We had a pretty big initiative that we were going to try to fund, and we just said we're going to put that on the back burner. We had the website that we had announced at AGM, so we said, okay, we're going to phase that in. But we knew that, again, we needed to still maintain a presence, help the clubs and the league through this process. And, really appreciative of the staff that, had to take the pay cuts and help us through. So once the dust settled, we looked at what we could do for clubs, and the landscape is so different. One club can be doing great because they were able to practice and play, and the revenues kept coming in. Other clubs have been shut down for months. So in order to be equitable, we thought, okay, we need to tighten our belts, and do more. And we all agree that this was the right thing to do. But I think just having sound financial policy, we were never going to go out and rent a big office space. We all have our own offices, that we pay outside of the UWS. And fortunately for us too, we were used to working remotely, which I remember a conversation I was having for a team, and they asked, do you guys even have an office? This is before, obviously pre-pandemic. Now no one has an office, and it's okay. But, it was kind of viewed like, are you guys really serious? You know how that is. But yeah, we just always kept our expenses really low, been judicious about what we do. And we had some cash reserves that were able to carry us through. And, our clubs were really supportive of us. And, we just from a personal standpoint, how I've been treated in my other business ventures or partnership by others, banks or landlords, goes a long way when you're struggling. And I hope that we have been able to do that for our club too.
Yeah, definitely. And the last question before I let you head out this evening, why is the commitment to financial transparency so important to the clubs in the league?
Well, That's one of the reasons that when UWS was first created, that we wanted to make sure that clubs knew where their membership dues were going to and how it's being spent. We didn't want to have a line that said $60,000 travel. We wanted to show, hey, here's what we did. Here's what you're getting, and it really is. As club owners, we want. I always expected that of leagues. Like, hey, I don't mind paying. I understand. We all, we're getting a great service, but I just want to know, like, is there any input? And we have been in every AGM. We have been really transparent. We show them, hey, here's where the money went. Some years we had, actually a couple of years, we've shown losses and we've been able to make those up. But again, that I think that just creates a bond and a trust with the clubs that, that we hope, pays dividends as we go into the future and get into, you're launching new initiatives for the leagues that they understand that we're doing it, in the most, not only cost efficient manner, but also that, they're aware of what we're trying to do. And in the long run, I think that you're able to sleep well at night, and that's what it's all about. We all love soccer. Again, the business side of soccer is in leagues. I don't like criticizing leagues because we all it's a tough business. It's a tough endeavor. A lot of time and effort that we spend on it, and I just hope that as we move forward, that all the teams will be able to get on the field, and again, a lot of our clubs depend on fans being in the stands, sponsors, etc. So and we're the same, right? We did lose a couple of sponsors through this pandemic, and we had to quickly maneuver through that situation, but we were able, luckily, to do it. And again, we think it's really important that our clubs understand how we're spending the money, where it's going, and earn their trust as we go forward.
Sounds like a good plan going forward as well. So Francisco, thank you so much for taking the time to join me this evening. I really appreciate it. Is there any parting words, anything that you want people to know going forward, looking forward to perhaps May?
No, I all the clubs are starting to get ready, for their seasons. Like you mentioned with the tryouts, I think this is an exciting time of the year. Again, we, depending what state you're in, the rules are different. We will work together or really closely with all the governing bodies that we need to in our medical advice to ensure that our season is safe for the players and the coaches and the fans. And, we had good direction before, and, I look forward to getting back in the field, personally, and also for all our clubs to get back out there. And I'm sure when everyone is in the same boat. So, and hopefully, we expect to not only have a full season, but lots of new and exciting news to come in the new year. So
awesome. Well, we look forward to it. Francisco, thank you so much for joining us. We will talk to you in a few weeks.
All right. Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year. All right. Well, that brings us to the last segment, which is our Techni Skill of the Week. Thank you to our partner, Techni Football. Techni is an app to help players develop strong training habits on their own time through repetition, tracking, and competition. Former U.S. national team and professional player Yael Averbush puts out a new training session every week with guest players and exciting new challenges regularly. Check it out in your app store for a free 7-day trial. Again, Techni Football. You could also check out Techni Football on Twitter at Techni Football for skills of the day. And don't forget to participate in the UWS Skill Challenge. This month's skill challenge is how many juggles, alternating feet, can you do in 1 minute? This challenge will end on the 31st, but both the player with the top score and one entry selected at random will win a prize pack. All you have to do is follow UWS Soccer on Twitter and Instagram, as well as Technee. Attempt the skill, post it, tag UWS and Technee while challenging 3 of your soccer friends. Make sure to use hashtag UWS skills for your chance to win. Unfortunately, we do not have a video, but we do have an update. Some of our former guests or participants have hit 206 juggles while they are beaten by 1. There is an individual who has 207, and we could not get that video downloaded for you this evening, but we do have somebody with 207 juggles in 1 minute alternating feet, and it is not me or producer Joe. So again, thank you so much for joining us this evening for UWS Weekly. You can follow all things UWS and UWS2 on their social media pages and send me questions for future shows as well. Next week is the beginning of the new year, 2021, and we are back on Thursday evening, January 7th, and we are going to be joined by our friends from Canada, actually Calgary. So stay tuned. And until next Thursday, have a great week. Have an awesome weekend. And Happy New Year's, everyone.